Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where Marvel got a glimmer of good news. While the actual rankings could change when the official numbers come in late Monday, Ant-Man still managed to hold its own in its second weekend and, at least according to the headlines that matter, remained at number 1. See, even if the rankings do change, the general public pays little attention to box office headlines past Monday morning, especially here, when so many people seem to be rooting for Adam Sandler to fail. And of course, quite a few people are rooting for Marvel to succeed. This first-place finish is a much-needed win for Ant-Man, and its second weekend drop of about 56% puts it right in between Captain America: The First Avenger and Thor. Although, as we discussed last week, there hardly seems to be room for an Ant-Man 2 in Marvel's Phase 3, even if Kevin Feige does feel there's an argument to be made for pursuing it. Worldwide, Ant-Man's prospects seem a bit rosier, as he's quickly closing in on breaking even, not including Disney's advertising budget for the film. But while Scott Lang and company got lucky with Pixels, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, and Fantastic Four should prove to be stronger box office adversaries in the coming weeks. What's also interesting is that Ant-Man has been branded a family film, competing with Pixels and Minions for that audience, an audience they pretty much evenly split this weekend. And while being family-friendly has always been a vital part of Marvel's formula, the studio's films have never been identified as such. This makes one further wonder what an Ant-Man 2, if it were to happen, would look like. Would the Disney and Marvel suits decide to play up that family appeal with more Cassie Lang, or look to counter it and court other demographics with more Michael Pena and Criminal Activities? It's a difficult decision, compounded by the fact that this weekend was one of those weekends that prove that the studio suits don't always know what they're doing, and certainly aren't 100% accurate when it comes to predicting what audiences want. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Paper Towns versus Southpaw. But first, Pixels! Fascinatingly for us and terrifyingly for Adam Sandler and Netflix, Pixels' stateside debut seemed less to do with the movie and more with audiences sending the comedian a message. So now the question is that message change your ways or GTFO? But all hope is not lost for Pixels either. It came close to winning the weekend, is doing solid business overseas, and it seems many of you plan to watch the film later on down the line, where many will discover it's really not that bad. As for the numbers themselves, Pixel debuted on par with a number of Sandler's recent films, including Jack and Jill, Just Go With It, and Bedtime Stories. So while he hasn't lost too much ground, he is still a far cry from his days of debuting with 40 million plus. Is Netflix the answer? So far, based on the headlines, it seems to be more of the problem. Then, it's a good thing John Green signed his first-look deal with Fox prior to the debut of Paper Towns. Yes, the teen drama seriously underperformed, to the point where Fox had to admit they planned to investigate why they couldn't muster a bigger turnout for the film. At first glance, though, the obvious culprit seems to be star power, or lack of potential star power. According to the box office, Nat Wolff and Cara Delevingne are no Ansel Elgort and Shailene Woodley. It'll be hard for Wolff to get any more leading roles after this debut, he has none lined up, and expect Warner Brothers to continue to keep Delevingne in the background while promoting Suicide Squad. But their loss is Jake Gyllenhaal's gain. This is the actor's biggest non-blockbuster debut since Jarhead back in 2005, and proof that his slow and steady campaign to return to prominence might be working, a la Matthew McConaughey. With the incredibly well-received Nightcrawler and now this, expect Gyllenhaal to get some exciting offers in the next few weeks. But while Gyllenhaal and his team rejoice, this is a bit of a step backward for director Antoine Fuqua, whose last 2 films opened in the 30 million range. Finally, while Trainwreck held up pretty well in its second week, falling a little over 40%, both Inside Out and Jurassic World held up even better, with drops in just the 30th percentile. And Mr. Holmes, doubling its theater count, actually went up 17%. Now, if you're wondering if the horrific theater shooting on Thursday night in Lafayette affected moviegoing this weekend, you're not alone. But Hollywood has reached the consensus that if the shooting did sway some moviegoers, it was in a way too imperceptible to truly be seen at the box office. As for this coming weekend, the Mission Impossible franchise is expected to have its best open yet, while Vacation should be a solid entry for Warner Brothers. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.